Life has a way of forcing us into tough decisions. Imagine a land stricken by famine, no food, no future, no hope. That's exactly what Naomi's family faced in Israel. With hunger tightening its grip, they did what many would do: they left, seeking provision elsewhere. But here's the catch: Moab wasn't just any land, it was enemy territory. A place with a dark history, foreign gods, and values that clashed with Israel's faith. Was this a practical move or a spiritual misstep? Sometimes, in the face of affliction, the choice that seems like survival can lead to unexpected consequences. And what happened next? Well, it changed the course of history. Then, let's read the chapter together. In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land. So a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and 2 sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech, his wife's name was Naomi, and the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem, Judah. And they went to Moab and lived there. Now Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth. After they had lived there about 10 years, both Mahlon and Chilion also died, and Naomi was left without her 2 sons and her husband. When Naomi heard in Moab that the Lord had come to the aid of his people by providing food for them, she and her daughters-in-law prepared to return home from there. With her 2 daughters-in-law, she left the place where she had been living and set out on the road that would take them back to the land of Judah. Then Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, "Go back, each of you, to your mother's home. May the Lord show you kindness, as you have shown kindness to your dead husbands and to me. May the Lord grant that each of you will find rest in the home of another husband." Then she kissed them goodbye, and they wept aloud and said to her, "We will go back with you to your people." But Naomi said, "Return home, my daughters. Why would you come with me? Am I going to have any more sons? Who could become your husbands? Return home, my daughters. I am too old to have another husband. Even if I thought there was still hope for me, even if I had a husband tonight and then gave birth to sons, would you wait until they grew up? Would you remain unmarried for them? No, my daughters. It is more bitter for me than for you, because the Lord's hand has turned against me." At this they wept aloud again. Then Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye, but Ruth clung to her. "Look," said Naomi, "your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her." But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go I will go, and where you stay I will stay. Your people will be my people and your God my God. Where you die I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me." When Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped urging her. So the 2 women went on until they came to Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred because of them, and the women exclaimed, "Can this be Naomi?" "Don't call me Naomi," she told them. "Call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi? The Lord has afflicted me, the Almighty has brought misfortune upon me." So Naomi returned from Moab accompanied by Ruth the Moabite, her daughter-in-law, arriving in Bethlehem as the barley harvest was beginning. Let's say a quick prayer to thank the Lord for His mercy. Father, wow, what a journey through your word today. Thank you for opening my eyes to Naomi's story, how even in affliction, you were working behind the scenes, leading her toward redemption. It's easy to run when things get tough, but Lord, I don't want to rely on my own understanding. Help me to trust you, even when I can't see the full picture. Teach me to recognize when I'm settling in places you never meant for me to stay. Give me the courage to return to where you're calling me, knowing that your provision is always in the right place at the right time. I don't want to make decisions out of fear, but out of faith. Let me, Lord, shape my heart, and let my story, just like Naomi's, be one of redemption, hope, and trust in you. Thank you for your wisdom, for your love, and for never giving up on me. Amen. Life is full of crossroads, and the choices we make can shape not only our future, but the generations that come after us. Naomi's journey started with famine and affliction, but it ended in redemption and restoration. And that's the lesson: our struggles aren't the end of the story. What if your current hardship is actually positioning you for something greater? What if your return to faith, to purpose, to trust in God, is the very thing that will rewrite your legacy? The difference between loss and provision, between despair and hope, often comes down to one decision. Will you trust God's plan even when it doesn't make sense? Now, it's your turn. Are there areas in your life where you've been running instead of trusting? Have you settled in places that were meant to be temporary? Naomi's family sought relief in Moab, but their true provision was always back in God's promise. It's time to reflect. What do you need to leave behind? And more importantly, what do you need to step into? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. What part of this story spoke to you the most? Let's start a conversation. And before you go, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into these powerful biblical truths. There's so much more to uncover, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. And, as always, don't forget to check the last video and learn more about the scriptures.